than they made when they were working. Now, is this good for the economy? Of course not. When they were working, the economy had the benefit of whatever it was they were producing with their labor. When they're not working, the economy gets no benefit because they're doing nothing. They're not contributing anything. But now they're just spending. So we're running up the debt. The trade deficits explode. The budget deficits explode. So none of this GDP that we saw in Q3 evidences how strong the economy is. It evidences how weak the economy is. It was weakness that led to that GDP number. But because it was weakness that created the high number in the current quarter, it's going to lead to much lower numbers in the future, because that's all we did. We borrowed from our future to indulge our present, right? And that is not a recipe for economic success. It is a recipe for failure and disaster. And that is exactly the cake that we've baked. All right. What's the worst thing Trump has done? Well, I mean, there have been a lot of bad things that Trump has done, but I mean, if you want to just, kind of condense it down, it's making government bigger. If Donald Trump wanted to make America great again, there's only one way to do that, and that's make government smaller. And Donald Trump didn't do that. He made government bigger and more expensive. And also, we needed somebody to level with the American public. So another big problem that Trump had was his lack of honesty. He needed to level with the public about the severity of the problem and what is actually needed to solve it. Somebody had to do the tough love. Somebody had to have the guts to be the messenger of bad news. And Donald Trump didn't want any part of that. He was more concerned about being popular and getting reelected, and all the good that did him, because he probably won't get reelected, right? And so it was a complete waste, So it's like, again, it was very frustrating to me. And I said this at the time when I voted for him. I said, look, I don't know. I'm buying a pig in a poke. I mean, I'm taking the chance. Maybe Trump will do the right thing, and maybe he'll do the wrong thing. What I said back then is that I knew that Hillary Clinton had no chance of doing the right thing. So she was 100% going to do the wrong thing. Trump, you didn't know. He might have done the right thing. Okay, he didn't, right? But, Hillary Clinton wouldn't have either. And there are a lot of people that think, again, Trump was saving all his good stuff for the second term. Maybe he was. We'll not, and we'll see. But if he doesn't get a second term, then we'll never know. But again, I don't believe that, because if I was Trump, I would not want to risk all the good things on re-election, because I wouldn't want to squander the opportunity I had gambling that I had another term. I would make the most of the term that I had. And where Donald Trump really showed his true colors was in the first term, when the Republicans had the House and the Senate. He had 2 years to make a difference, and he didn't. He made government bigger. That's all he did. He increased government spending on welfare and on warfare, and he ran up the deficits. He didn't do anything that we needed a non-politician to do. And none of the stuff that he promised as a candidate did he deliver as president. It was just a show. Now, there were parts of the show that I enjoyed, and I enjoyed the fact that so many liberals just hated Trump. I mean, I liked the fact that they were so upset. Because the stuff that they want to do is so bad. And, again, there are a lot of Trump people, Trump supporters that I like. I just wish they had a better champion in Trump. I just wish that somebody would be what Trump pretends to be. And I think Trump is a nicer guy. He's a personable guy. I think he's a much nicer guy than Biden. I think Biden's an ass and a criminal. He's been stealing. Biden and his family have been stealing, making a fortune. Imagine how much these crooks are going to make when they're president. The family's really going to clean up once their dad is the president. I mean, they made a bunch of money when he was just a vice president. And what the hell's that? I mean, once he's president, they're really going to make some money. But, I think, I don't know, Trump might have had a good idea. He might have tried to do the right thing, or thought he was going to do the right thing. I don't know. Did he just surround himself with bad people? But whatever. I just think he treated the presidency like a reality show, and he was more concerned about perception and being a successful president in that he got reelected, right? Because that was success, right? You get 2 terms. You don't want to be a one-termer. Look, to me, success is making a meaningful difference in the country. I don't care if I get reelected. It's how do they look at your presidency in 50 or 100 years? Not whether you served 2 terms or 1, but whether you made a difference during the time you were there. And I don't think that's going to be the case for Trump. And I think that the failures of that administration is one of the reasons that we're going to get even bigger failures in a Biden administration. Mark Elliott, thanks for spending election night with us. Yeah, I know. I got my family in the other room. They're watching everything on the big screen. And I'm just in here in my office. I got a little TV here off to my left. But as trying to see Pennsylvania coming in. It looks like Trump is leading there. Trump's got to win Pennsylvania. I mean, that's a state. He is winning in Florida, which is good. I mean, because Florida could have gone either way, and Georgia. But let's see. This is from Conformitas. All right. Hey, Peter, I see hyperinflation on the horizon as well, but the common thing being argued back is that, yes, more money has been created, but it's trapped in the banks. Yeah, a lot of people, again, they just think that this money is trapped. Look, it's not trapped. And all of this money eventually flows into consumer goods. That's what it's all about. Nobody wants stocks for the sake of stocks, right? I mean, people want the things that they can buy with the money that they get when they sell their stocks, or with the money they earn in dividends while they own their stocks, right? I mean, we could all be rich if everybody decided not to sell their stocks, right? Like everybody agreed, nobody's going to sell anything. And then somebody wants to buy 1 share and it goes to $1 million, right? Now everybody has, millions and millions or billions of dollars in their brokerage account because we all agree not to sell our stock. And so one guy buys 1 share and the price goes through the roof because there's no sellers. And now as long as none of us tries to sell, we can all pretend that we're rich. Well, what good is pretending to be rich if you don't buy anything? What you want to do is you want to actually start to buy stuff with your riches. And that is going to happen. And then once you try to buy stuff, then the prices go through the roof. But for a while, people are just sitting on their stock portfolios, not saving, spending more money because they think they're getting rich on paper. But all of this is claims to wealth. Ultimately, the more claims there are on a stock of wealth, the higher the prices are going to go for the actual things that people really want to buy, the things that really make people's lives better, right? Because your stock portfolio doesn't do it. It's the things that you buy when you sell your stocks. And it's the things that you buy with your dividends. Of course, a lot of stocks don't even pay dividends. So the only way you can buy something with your stocks is if you sell them. So all of this inflation is ultimately going to come to rest in the consumer goods and services that we all desire. And that is everybody's goal, to consume more. But if we don't produce more, then we can't consume more. We just have to pay higher prices for the stuff we consume. And that's all coming, right? But everybody is deluding themselves just because there's been this bigger delay, just because they don't immediately see the hyperinflation, right? They think it's never going to happen, or that high inflation isn't going to happen. Look, the market has been lulled into this false sense